I feel ashamed of my country in so many ways. I think that a lot of us do right now. I know so many of us feel hopeless and just disgusted about the atrocities going on in our country. And it can almost paralyze you into inaction, make you want to crawl into a hole until things get better. Although we shouldn't be blindly patriotic, I think it's still healthy to have hope for our country, to be disgusted about how things are right now, but to have hope that we can get closer to the values that heroes like Martin Luther King Jr. had, and visions for this country to actually fulfill the ideas of equality and peace and justice. This current experience is so uniquely American, and the fact that our country had grand ideals but was built on the back of slaves, the way that the hypocrisy was just built into the system, but yet still has the capacity to do such good things. We are also a more diverse country than most countries, and we have a population that ranges in race and class and sexuality and religious practices and backgrounds and education, and the range is just a lot larger than it is in most other nations, and that is beautiful, but that is also really challenging. And we've known this challenge has existed for centuries now, but yet right now it feels so hurtful because I think we had a sense of some kind of relief or assurance that we were on the right track with the election of Barack Obama. It felt like, okay, finally, we're getting somewhere, and surely we won't go back from here. Surely things will just get better. But yet it seemed like a complete reaction against that with the right wing dehumanizing character that is Donald Trump. It's like the dying cry of people who feel a sense of they're losing control, that the white man is not going to be the force and power going forward, and that scares them. And right now we just see the final ugly cry of the people who know that they are losing. But knowing that is the ugly destructive cry of a dying sector does not make it any easier. We read headlines like ICE kills another unarmed person or US vies for control over Greenland, and it is just embarrassing. And there's no way to justify, and it is just so embarrassing and shameful to say that this is our country. This is who was voted into power. We are people of a country whose leaders are making policies that harm vulnerable groups. We see cruelty becoming normalized, and it's starting to get to the point where we're not even surprised when we see the next thing that has been done. And there is such a dissonance between what we thought America stood for versus this lived reality we're experiencing. I think there is some cultural pressure that says if you feel ashamed of your country or you criticize it, that you must hate it, and that must be some ungrateful person who doesn't appreciate all the privileges that you do have by being American. That to be a patriot, you must love your country without criticizing it at all. But I think a shame is a very healthy feeling right now because it means that you have not gone numb to your values. It is dangerous to be unflinchingly loyal to a country, a person, an ideal, no matter what happens. It's important that your values are what stands above all else, including the country and its leaders, so that you can still discern between right and wrong, even if the institutions that you had put some of your faith in start to crumble. I wish these gung-ho, flag-flying American patriots would realize that by not criticizing the country and refusing to admit when things are wrong, that actually shows a lack of care for their country. Because when you actually love something or someone, you want to admit when things are wrong because you care about it enough to want things to get better from there. Avoiding critique does not protect your country. It just protects those who are benefiting from the state of the country. It protects the status quo. And so it makes a lot of sense that those benefiting from the current structure are the ones who lash out at people who dare critique or say what needs to be changed in the system, because those are the people benefiting and they don't want to see things change. However, it is so important to note that shame by itself can be such a paralyzing emotion, and so that it's important to couple this shame with a sense of responsibility. And this responsibility does come from a love of your country and knowing that it can be better, and that we have a responsibility to make it get even a little bit closer to the ideals it claims to have. Responsibility means staying informed about what's going on without letting it completely consume you. Responsibility means voting even if the system is flawed and even when you don't like the candidates that you have to choose from. Responsibility can mean narrowing your gaze to a local area to where you can make contributions that help people right in front of you, even when the national system itself becomes overwhelming. And responsibility means speaking up and saying this isn't okay, even if you don't have all the answers, because none of us do. Hope isn't pretending things are fine. Hope is refusing to give up your responsibility to care. Right now, I don't think we can expect much hope to come from politicians and their slogans and the systems that have failed us again and again. I think hope is going to come from people organizing locally and helping each other and reaching out to people who you know are being negatively impacted by policies and dehumanizing rhetoric, and making sure that they're okay and letting them know that you are on your side, that you are on their side and you will not stand for this ugliness. Not all hope has to come from the very top. There is a history of communities and groups coming together to help each other and lift each other up when national institutions and systems fail. For instance, the civil rights movement, unions, women's rights movement, progress in the LGBTQ rights, all of these things didn't start at a national level. It came from the community level of people lifting each other up and standing together. History shows that there are periods of progress after these intense reckonings where the curtain is pulled back and you see the reality that lies beneath. And right now, so much ugliness is being revealed. And I just think that there is this overall feeling, especially among my generation, that we're just not going to stand for it any longer. But like those historical movements, this one will be hard and painful, and it will seem like we're taking 10 steps back for every one step forward. But because we love our country and we have a vision for what it will become, that will be the fuel to continue lifting each other up and continue going forward. So just know that you are allowed to feel grief, anger, disgust for everything that your country isn't. But at the same time, you are allowed to feel hope for what you think this country could become. And these feelings don't cancel each other out, and they can both exist at the same time. By focusing on our own small spheres of influence, by contributing what we can to make life better for the people right here, right now, that is care. Care for our country and care for humanity. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if this resonated for you, and please share your thoughts. My name is Michelle. Like and subscribe, and we will connect again soon.